We rolling, and then now we mark. Look at that.
So we can't, hopefully I got that on camera.
I never feel nerdier than in that moment of having to do the marker. Yeah.
Should I be getting you in this shot too? Or should
You
I just
can.
Be getting,
Look at this.
Be getting me.
See, this is what happens when you get two directors together.
Yeah.
That looks like this is like a Beastie Boys video or something. Look at that.
Start rapping.
Please don't.
Okay.
Please do not.
I won't. You can.
We were just talking about baseball because I want to show everybody my finger got smashed in our first Sandlot game that happened yesterday. I still somehow can play catcher at 48 years old.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But I would be lying if I didn't say that I am really feeling it today. They were cramping all last night. I was like, oh no, how am I going to do this walk with Bryan? You know, furiously like drinking pickle juice and eating a banana. And it was a real old man situation last night. But you were saying that you wanted to make a baseball documentary?
I wanted to make a baseball documentary for a long time. I keep trying to find the right thing, and I've talked to MLB a few times, and like I had at one point I had a Ken Griffey Jr. thing going, Sealed Mariners, like
I would watch that.
My Mariners hat there, classic. But yeah, I had that going. It was greenlit, Fox Sports, and then it kind of fell through at the last minute.
What happened?
That was years ago. It was
because I would absolutely watch a Ken Griffey Jr.
Like, we were ready to go up to Seattle. I think the next day, my first interview was with Sir Mix-a-Lot at his house. And
I love that was who you were like, we got to talk to.
It just happened to be the first one. It wasn't the order of importance. But the night before, Junior got like cold feet and called up, his agent, and his agent called us and was like, yeah, I think Junior's out.
Oh, no.
We have this other Nike project we're doing, and he's just worried that he's going to interfere with that, and didn't get to do it. So I've been still trying to find the baseball thing, and someday hopefully we'll find one.
Man, I have to say, the Battered Bastards of Baseball, have you seen that one?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a fantastic one. And then the
Morgan Neville one, have you seen
the Morgan Neville one, the Saint of Second Chances. That one was my favorite doc of, what was that, 2024 maybe?
That one hit me hard. I wasn't expecting to cry so much.
Hard.
It was like
I watched it
and I'm like,
twice and sobbed both times. I think as a parent, because I know you have not so little ones anymore. But
2 girls though.
2 girls. Oh my God, you have teenagers. Wow. Yeah, but as a parent like that, not to give it away, it's been out for a while, so you should, if you haven't seen it by now, it's your fault. When the daughter dies at the end, oh my God. And then they go on the road trip in the RV named Dylan because Bob Dylan was, and they listen to every Bob Dylan album. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
That's a good one. And unexpected. Like I think the first 15 minutes I was like, okay, this is a little like campy or like kind of like, and then you just get hooked in. You're like, whoa, like.
That is my favorite kind of documentary right there,
sure.
Is when you think something isn't worth getting really serious about, or you wonder like, why make a documentary about that? And then 90 minutes later, you've laughed, you've cried, you're emotionally invested, you feel like you understand yourself better. Like that's the ride I'm looking to go on every time I watch a movie. And I feel like those are the kind of movies that you make.
You have to find the heart. Like that's the whole thing, right? Like you get some silly little topic that other people would be like, why am I even interested in that movie? And then you just go deep and it becomes a love story or, a father-son story or, something. But you got to like find that. Otherwise, it's not worth it to me. And I like sports too. Like I've made a lot of sports stuff, but I'm not a huge sports fan. I find the human story there, and then you gotta tell that. But it's like I'm not interested in necessarily like bowling, but I made a bowling movie, it's like because of the characters and the so.
Well, this is a great opportunity to stop and introduce to our audience who we're talking about.
Oh,
if Keith were here, and I'm solo today, Keith is on vacation. So he sends his regrets. He wanted to meet you. He's a big fan of your work. If Keith were here, he would say, that was a good bit of banter.
Yeah,
and now,
good banter.
Let's cue the intro music. Ding, 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 ding.
On your left.
You're listening to Doc Walks with Ben and Keith.
So now, I'm here walking with my friend, Bryan Storkel, who is a showrunner, director, editor, producer, production company owner, father of two, sometimes baseball fan, it sounds like.
Baseball fan.
And you are here in town for South by Southwest, where you are premiering your new film, I Got Bombed at Harvey's.
Yes, sir.
So tell us, let's start there. Tell us about
I got on the left here.
I Got Bombed at Harvey's. Whoa.
Yes, I Got Bombed at Harvey's is premiering here at South by Southwest. It's a story of a man and a giant elaborate bomb placed in a casino in 1980, and hijinks ensue.
I didn't know anything about this story. You were kind enough to send me a screener that I watched last night, and it's exactly what we're talking about. Although this does have a very sexy hook. I can see how, you go in to pitch this movie and you say, did you know that a casino in Lake Tahoe had a bomb explode in 1980? And we have a lot of footage of it. And we have the one son of the bomber who wants to talk. Like, I can see how that would be a very quick, easy, or not, maybe not easy, a quick pitch.
No,
so
it's very exciting on the surface.
Yes.
And
so how did that come together?
Someone brought the idea to us at a film festival, came up to us after a screening, said, got an idea for you, here's my card. She handed me her card, and she was from a company that mostly did reality TV.
Okay.
And so at first I was like, oh boy.
You're right.
And then we got on the phone with her, and she just started telling this story for maybe 30 minutes, and we were just hooked.
Wow. And we as you and your wife, Amy.
It started out with me and Theo, my partner Theo. We did Cocaine Island together.
And this is Theo Love?
Yes, many years ago we started this project, and it kind of I won't get into all the details, but it's a very long, stop and go for many years trying to get this made.
I'm familiar with the stop and go.
Yes. A lot of, as happens in this world. But, eventually we got it made. And now Theo's an EP on it. Amy ended up co-directing with me, my partner in business and in life. And here we are.
Amazing. So you're premiering at South by Southwest. Does it already have a distribution deal?
No. It has some international distribution we basically did
Actually, let's pull over here for a second. I got to blow out. I got to tie my shoe.
Okay.
Can you do double duty here?
We get a little.
Oh yeah.
You got a shoe.
You got to get this B-roll.
I can get this with this angle. It's coming back to me. This looks at me. It doesn't look at the shoe.
I think it recognizes the talent.
Yeah, I tried to get the shoe. Do it.
It's like, we know who's important here, and it's not Ben's shoelaces. Okay, so you were talking about distribution. You guys have international distribution?
It's an interesting thing. We have a series that we made about it, a 3-part series that has international distribution.
Whoa.
It'll be on the BBC in, I think, next month or two.
Wow.
And it has some other distribution in France, Canal Plus,
wow.
Australia, and some other Norway, some smaller countries.
Did you guys pitch at Hot Docs or something?
We were making this series for a while, and our company, Propagate, ended up doing the sales and selling it internationally. We've thought for a while now that the feature version is a better, tighter, more exciting version.
Yeah.
We just decided to put together a feature and submit it to South by Southwest.
Because even though you had all of those things in place internationally, you didn't have a
US
domestic
sale.
Wow. I haven't heard of a film with that situation. That seems very unique.
I think initially we were, you going straight here?
We're going to cross the bridge.
Okay. I think initially we were, of course, hoping for a big all rights deal.
Sure.
For a major streamer, and that didn't happen right away.
But let's stop here, by the way, because this is a pretty good. We get just on the other side of this. This is usually a pretty good view.
You getting a little view
of downtown? Okay. Yeah. And the wild thing about this bridge is from this way, it's very tranquil, and you look at downtown and all this. And then if you turn around, by the way, this is Sunday morning at South by. This is twice as busy as I anticipated it being. Then you look this way, and this is usually where people jump, even though there's signs all over the place that say no jumping.
How deep is it?
In the river. I don't know the answer to that because I would never swim in this water.
Yeah.
But there are lots of teenagers who do and go bailing off of this. And it's kind of amazing how many times you see that.
Yeah.
And it's a little strange that we're not seeing that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to go bridge jumping while you're here,
okay,
this is the spot.
Maybe next time.
you get pitched this idea.
Yeah.
At a film festival where you are with another film.
Correct.
Which, by the way, I was doing my research for this walk and I was looking at your credits and I was like, Jesus Christ, stop it, Bryan. Like, this is like, you have made a lot of documentaries, my friend. How are you able to be so prolific? Like, you
I don't
are.
know that it's prolific. I think it's just.
Let's just talk about right now.
To...
Well, let me just prove my point. Right now, from what I understand, from knowing you a little bit and also reading about you, you are show running the show as Florida Man.
I did the first season of that and wasn't on the second season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's not on my plate right now.
Oh, okay. Well, still, you're here at South by with premiering I Got Bombed at Harvey's.
Yes.
Which is a feature documentary. And also I just learned a 3-part series internationally.
Yes, also a 3-part.
You have the Hulk Hogan doc series coming out on Netflix.
Yeah, that'll be out on Netflix this year.
This year.
Almost done with that. Those are the 2 main ones right now.
Well, what else are you doing? Because I know that you and your wife have a production company called
Sidestilt.
Tell me about that name. What is
Norwegian? It comes from a Norwegian word. My wife is Norwegian.
Okay.
Sidestilt, if I'm saying it right, means to juxtapose.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Things that we like in documentary that kind of like, are opposites. Like, things that, the unexpected, the
contrast.
Yeah, the contrast on things. So anyhow, but yeah, we have a production company. We also had a TV show on AMC second season called Smugshot that aired a couple months ago.
Right. And that was about like finding the backstory of like infamous mugshots that go viral or something?
It's more about basically all under the umbrella of crimes of entitlement.
Oh.
So people who didn't really need to commit a crime but did anyway.
Crimes of entitlement.
Yeah, and they're usually a little
I've heard of terms of endearment,
a little
but
quirkier.
not
yeah,
terms of entitlement. I like that.
It's not the dark crime. It's some weirder things like, there was a
like
art forgery of a Salvador Dali painting out of Rikers Island prison. That was one of them, Ended up being one of the guards that stole the painting, but someone that was clearly in a position where they didn't need to be committing crime and they did anyway.
Interesting.
Typically don't get away with it or it doesn't amount to much, but those are the types of stories we do. We had one here that was part of that 2 years ago at South by Southwest. It was called Dickweed.
Yes, we talked to the filmmaker of Dickweed at the Austin Film Society.
Yeah, so that was part of the AMC series.
Here, let's go over here and look at this. This is a really good view over here.
Nice.
So on that one, you were what, an executive producer?
Amy was the showrunner, my partner, and I was an EP, and then directed one of the episodes. But our company runs that show.
Wow. Okay. And who did you do that for?
AMC.
AMC, you said. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this.
Look at that.
Yeah. This makes Austin look like a big city.
Yeah.
Look at all those skyscrapers, and we got some nice foreground action with the boats.
Got a roaring metropolis.
Well, you live in Los Angeles.
Yes.
I mean, I think this feels like small and quaint compared to LA, I would assume.
It's pretty big. That looks like
You think?
a big view to me, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty view. You don't have this in LA. Like, you get the LA River.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someday it will.
Well, the nice thing about Austin is it's centralized, right? Like when you're in LA, there's downtown, but there's not really a center. It's kind of like New York, where it's like everything is neighborhood based. Yeah. How long have you been in LA?
At least 15 years, but I can't keep track. Somewhere around that.
But maybe
20.
But you and I met because you had Oklahoma connections.
I did, yeah.
But you were born in Seattle.
Correct. Went to school in Oklahoma, stayed there about 7 years, then went out to LA right after.
So you went to OU?
No, I went to a private Christian school, Oral Roberts University.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes, okay.
The Bible Belt. Yes.
I grew up in Kansas and Oklahoma, so all around the buckle there.
Yeah, that's the spot. So I spent time there and then went to LA right after.
Cool.
Yeah.
And your first films, your first documentaries were Christian based, basically, right?
Basically like me kind of exploring things that I believed too, and like kind of diving into the gray areas where I was realizing like I'd grown up like always being taught that there was this black and white, you know, right and wrong, good and evil.
Right.
And I started like exploring some things that I realized were a little more gray. I was like, oh, the whole world is kind of gray.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as that. The first one was about the card counting, gambling pastors who took Vegas for millions.
Which is so surprising, like the fact that you found that story.
I was like, okay, this is exactly what I'm kind of exploring and thinking about in my real life, as far as just people who believe something or do something that goes against the traditional beliefs but doesn't seem wrong.
Yeah.
Like, wait, this is okay. All my life I've been taught that gambling is wrong.
Right.
And
but if
these
they're doing it
pastors
for
are doing this?
good,
Yeah, what's going on here?
And remind our audience what that one's called.
It's called Holy Rollers.
Holy Rollers, that's right. And so it's about card counting Christians who are basically playing blackjack and winning in order to basically take the money for their church, right?
And just for their living. A lot of them came from small churches where they weren't making money off of being a pastor.
Right.
So a lot of them were just supporting their family with the money.
Wow.
And then still continuing to do their ministry. So
they were using it for good and not for evil.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And also just realizing that there wasn't anything inherently wrong about going into a casino and betting on a card game, you know, and especially when they weren't actually betting, they were playing with math and logic and like, you know, what's wrong with that other than the fact that somebody said it was wrong. Yeah.
Such a wild story.
That film, like, surprisingly, out of all my projects, like, I still get a check every quarter, and I don't know who was buying it. Like, it was like 2012, I think it came out, or 2011.
Is it on a Christian network?
No, it's not like a Christian film. Somebody bought the 1999 copy on Xbox or something. Like, what? Like, somebody's playing, like, wait, what? Like, yeah, but there's a lot of rentals, and every quarter, you know, we're getting a check for, you know, $1,000 or something. Like,
that's
it's like,
amazing.
Like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I don't know how people are finding it or still watching it, but it's pretty cool.
That's so great. So then you go from Holy Rollers to
Fight Church was the next one. That was cage fighting pastors. Which is, I'm detecting a theme.
Yeah,
it was all exploring those things. And then the third one was one that I helped out with Little Hope
is Arson. And I think that's when I met you.
Probably.
Yeah, you were on the festival circuit around that time.
That was a Texas film. About two boys that had burned down 10 churches. So it starts getting a little darker, and then eventually we came back around and did Alabama Snake, which is about a pastor who, you know, forced his wife to get bitten by a rattlesnake in an attempt to murder her. And that one was kind of our, like, okay, there's a lot of dark stuff in this whole religion thing and in Christianity, and like, let's explore some of that as we were exploring and kind of like finding our exodus out of it as well personally. Right. It's like exploring the dark side in film. So that whole thing we kind of created as more of a, not horror, but like a dark Appalachian, like, you know, thriller and
that was, you're saying was that with Amy, your wife, and then Theo
That one
Love?
Was Theo and myself. Theo directed it, I produced it, wrote it with him. A lot of the projects we did together, it would start out small, and it would just be like me and him finding a story, going out to a location and just like exploring and scouting and like talking to the people, and then eventually we'd bring in bigger crews. But it was a good, we did several films where it was, you know, me and him creatively. We would both do a little editing, but he drove the ship more creatively, and he was definitely, you know, the director. And then, we did several like that.
And did he do Cocaine Island?
Yeah. So I produced that. He directed it.
But Cocaine Island came before Alabama Snake, correct?
Yeah,
okay.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. See, this is what I'm talking about. You're so prolific. It's like hard to keep these
years, you know? You got to keep them going.
But Cocaine Island was like a sensation when it came out,
I did pretty well for us, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hang on. Before we talk about that, you said something that I want to follow up on, which is you said that you were exploring the dark side of Christianity at the same time that you were sort of exiting out of it. Did you say that? That you, at the same time that you were sort of like exploring this darker side, were you kind of rethinking your relationship to faith?
It was through the films as well, I think, but it was a long process of each film. I kind of was exploring that, and I think in general I find like a lot of times, even if I don't know what I'm looking to say at the beginning of the film, I am learning things or kind of putting things into the film that I'm experiencing in my real life, like as I'm making it.
Sure.
So it was slowly backing my way out of that and realizing that I didn't want to personally be involved in a church or label myself a Christian or that I didn't believe those things. There's a lot of people in that world that I still am friends with, and that I'm not, judging them necessarily for their beliefs. I think there's a lot of good there as well. It just wasn't for me. So.
Interesting, man, because that's to knowing the little bit I know from the outside of growing up in Oklahoma, going to a place like Oral Roberts, like that is like hardcore. Like you are going to a very religious school, and it's so interesting to then make documentaries, which I think for me personally have like really expanded my view of the world and sort of made me like really question my place in it and think so deeply about other people. And it's like Woody Guthrie, another famous Oklahoman who like would talk about his guitar as like an empathy machine. Or somebody said that once about movies. I'm totally destroying this quote. But like the empathy part of making documentaries is so helpful to me. And it sounds like that really like opened you up in a kind of unexpected way.
Yeah, and I think that's like I've worked with people on the fiction side that are trying to do documentaries or something, and I think a lot of times they don't see that. And it's really important for me to always kind of like, definitely don't ever want to make fun of the people, want to kind of, actually try to understand them. My goal is, if you have a preconceived notion about someone or something going into the film, that you're going to be flipped around and be like, whoa, like I didn't, and that's like, even the Hulk Hogan thing I'm doing, it's like, he's very polarizing, and especially lately, if you're not on the Trump train, and you see him ripping his shirt off in front of the RNC, you're going to be like, fuck that guy. Like, I don't want anything to do with him. But I think the minute he sits down on camera at the beginning of the film, the people I've shown it to that are like, I hate him. Like, he starts talking and they're like, whoa, I don't know why I'm having feelings for him. I'm like, and they just realize he's a human. And that's so important to me, just to kind of, whether it's a criminal or, you don't want to obviously glorify them too much or give them too, paint them in too good of a light. But I think showing, that this guy that committed these horrible crimes also, has a mom or like kids or like his life was changed a little when he had a baby, or, like
you're giving like context to the why of it. Like, why did they do this?
And I think then you can, as an audience member, look at it and have a little, not like, oh, I could see how I would do that too, but maybe have a little connection to him and a little empathy.
I love that. Here, let's keep moving. We'll free up the space for these guys. No, all good. Man, I love that you said that. We made an unreleased Kid Rock documentary. And when we have shown that to people, not that we do legally.
No, never.
The response is the same. People come in being like, I don't want anything to do with this guy. My business partner and I co-directed, but as a director, that was my experience too.
I forgot that you had that.
And then
he was at Hogan's funeral. You saw him there.
Did you interview him?
No, I pissed next to him in the urinal.
I don't know much about Hulk Hogan, but I would maybe, I mean, it's hard to say because the Kid Rock I knew 5 years ago is very different from who he is now. But I would venture to guess that back then he was probably similar in the sense that, like, once you met his parents and understood that, he'd been with the same band members for 30 years, you forgave him and kind of understood a lot of the things that were so immediately repellent, And I feel like right now when things are so divided, it is more important than ever to see people as people and not like, oh, they're evil or they're like the problem. Because everybody's complicated. Nobody's like that simple,
For
For
sure. Yeah, and I think with Hulk, you'll be able to watch the film and still, there might be people that watch it that hate him and still hate him at the end of it, and that's fine. I'm not trying to necessarily change anyone's mind, but I think I am, just trying to show a little bit of his humanity. And the goal for me was, there's a lot of people that have memories of him as a kid.
For sure.
That are
I think I had his action figure. Yeah.
And so many people grew up watching him and had, the more people I talk to, they say, like, oh, I watched with my grandma. And they have these beautiful memories with their grandma, or their dad took them to a WWE event and held them up on his shoulders, and that was the only time they had with their dad was like, during these wrestling experiences. And people would come up to him and just be sobbing and be like, my uncle died and I used to watch with him, and I feel connected to my uncle now that I'm here with you. And like just these deep emotional moments. And then when whatever scandal went down with Gawker and sex tape. And racist things that were said on the tape.
And Peter Thiel, got involved
and
backed the lawsuit against Gawker that shut it down.
Yes, it's very, and we don't get into that a ton in ours because there's a whole doc on Netflix called Nobody Speak about it. But like, whatever scandal, a lot of people I talked to were afraid to have those good memories.
Yeah.
They felt like they didn't have permission to hang on to that anymore, that they had to get rid of that completely. And I think what the series or the film is kind of trying to do is say, it's okay to have those good memories.
Yeah.
And to have a different opinion of the real man, Terry.
Sure.
Like in 2026.
And the performer. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like, why should you have to throw away that memory you have with your dad from
I love that.
1995?
I love that because we are in such a complicated moment where it's like you're not supposed to separate the art from the artist. And in some cases I understand that. And in others, it's complicated because for the same reasons we were talking about, like, the art is the product created that means something subjective to the audience, right? It means something different for everybody. It's the memory with your dad. It's the, the showmanship of Hulk Hogan, like, ripping him in the shirt and waving the American flag and how that made you feel when you were 9 or whatever. And then the political affiliations that were, here, let's go this way, of him today, like, affect you a different way. And both things should be true. Right? And they can be true.
Exactly.
Okay, let's see. Hang on a second. We are in Zilker Park.
Where are we?
Let's look at this. Look at all these people here. They're walking dogs. They're playing volleyball. This is where Austin City Limits takes place, the huge music festival every year. This is like 3 stages, thousands of people.
Wow.
But I guess if Austin had like a central park, this would kind of be considered it.
Okay.
Have you ever been over here before?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
What about the Barton Springs?
So Barton Springs is just over there.
And that's some sort of giant pool?
Oh, have you never been to Barton Springs?
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, you got to come back in the summer.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to Barton Springs because it is kind of Austin's crown jewel. Like, it's super hot here. Like in the way that New York has winters, we have our summer. Everybody stays indoors. It's super hot. People get irritated. But we have a naturally fed
it is natural
pool by our aquifer that this area sits on, and it's 68 degrees year round. And so you jump in and it's freezing cold, and even when it's 100 degrees outside, and it's like air conditioning for the entire day, basically. It like cools you off, puts you in a great mood, just swim around, and it's huge. And it's this like public gathering spot that is really one of a kind. Like, I haven't seen anything quite like it anywhere else.
Very cool.
You got to come back.
Yeah, I've never gone. I've heard about it a lot, but I've never gone.
Yeah. Let's flip around. I was going to suggest we go along this road, but I don't know that there's a drop-in point back to the trail. So maybe we
just hit the trail.
Maybe we just hit the trail and in reverse here. Tell me about the premiere of I Got Bombed at Harvey's.
Good audience, seemingly a good reception, good response. Few reviews trickling in. Like, for instance, one of the words used or phrases used was to describe some of the reenactments, said they were stylistically kitschy. Is that good or bad? What would you say?
I think I interpret that to mean that if you are meaning to be kitschy as part of the story, which I think you are. I think
some of them are, and that's like...
Then that is positive, because that is what you are intending as the director.
There you go.
I feel like you have really developed this style, starting really with Pez Outlaw, kind of like imprinted this new way of doing reenactments that I want you to describe, because when I saw it, it felt very, like, I've seen people attempt to do that before, including me. I tried to do, I got hired to direct a CBS show in 2018 that was exactly what you're talking about, the crimes of entitlement.
Yeah.
This was called Pink Collar Crimes.
Oh, okay.
And it was about largely moms who commit nonviolent first-time offender crimes, do a terrible job, and we did a bunch of interviews. We interviewed the real people. We did 8 episodes. Each episode was focused on an individual story.
Okay.
We would cut those together, and then my job as a director was to go out and do the stylized reenactments.
Okay.
And that was basically like, you know, we cast people who looked like the real people, filmed them like a narrative, had them even do like lip flap of the interview. But when it got to the network basically completely changed the show, and what came out was a far cry from what we shot.
Okay.
But I feel like you guys have kicked it up to a whole nother beautiful level, and it sounds like I'm taking credit for it. I'm not. I'm more envious of how you have managed to like do that style in such an effective cinematic way, where you basically are doing reenactments that look almost like big budget narratives, and I feel like that's like the kind of an interesting new take on the genre. So I want you to critique how I just said that because I feel like I'm not doing it justice. So how do you think about this kind of style of reenactments that you guys have created?
I think reenactments had their, moment here in the last, 8 years, where all of a sudden everyone wanted to do reenactments.
And because before it was kind of like a dirty word, like you didn't want to do recreate. And
then all of a sudden I would talk to directors that just wanted to do reenactments, and I think the goal for us has never been like to do reenactments. It was just the best version of storytelling for the particular story. It started with Cocaine Island, and I think part of the reason maybe that our reenactments work is because we're terrified of them being awful and cheesy, like constantly. And I think with Cocaine Island, even, we took the main subject and had him act in his own reenactments.
You cast the actual guy,
which we did again with Pez Outlaw later.
It's just so cool because it really grounds you in the story.
And after that, several people came to us, several buyers, and said, "Can you do a whole series where you do this?" And we said, I don't know that it works with every story. Like, it's not, you gotta have the right person, you gotta have the right story.
Talk to me about that, because particularly in Pez Outlaw, because I feel like Cocaine Island was like a really beautiful example of that, because the guy was so straight-laced looking, and so to put him in those situations was so funny.
Fish out of water.
With
him too, though, just to go back to it, we were terrified, like every time, like Theo and I would look at each other and we'd be like, is this too much? Like, I don't know, like, and we kept kind of asking that, and you could still shoot it and then just not use it.
Too much meaning was it too
over the
campy?
top, like too, like
stylistically.
We're having this guy, look up into the sky, and we're dropping money and cocaine on his face as he spins around in slow motion. We're like, is this gonna work? I don't know. This might be. And I think we were constantly asking ourselves that, but really aware of it feeling cheesy, scared of it feeling too cheesy in a bad way. That was our radar, like the whole time. We were just like worried about that. And so then I think it turns out good. Like I've seen other films with reenactments where there's good ones and then there's some really bad ones, and I think sometimes those people are don't even have that radar going. They're not aware of, oh, this could be, I'm terrified of it being like horribly done. So well, so that terror is the thing that makes it succeed.
That makes it good.
And occasionally still, like, I'm at the screening, the other night, and there's a couple shots where I'm like, ooh, is that one cheesy? Like, like there's a couple that get by that you're still like, oh man,
just right on the line of too much.
What's going on here? Is this a dog photo shoot?
What is going on here? That's
interesting,
because we've got a crowd of people
get a shot of this
around a bunch of dogs standing on a table. The thing is about these mics, though, they don't really pick up other people, which is a bummer. So
these guys,
we'll just have to narrate this experience.
Look at this.
What's
lovely?
What's going on here?
It's the annual doggy on table.
Oh, the annual.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you timed it perfectly.
Yeah, good thing we were here. This isn't on accident. We came here just for the doggy on table.
Yeah.
Is this like a calendar photo shoot or something?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty raunchy though. January over here.
That's great.
Famous one here. Hello. How are you? Good to see ya.
All right. See?
You seen this before? This
I've never seen
dogs
that.
on the table?
I've never seen that before.
Okay.
That felt quintessentially
Yeah.
Austin, where
Very Austin.
everybody stops to talk about some bizarre things
Dogs on the
going
table.
on. We were talking about reenactments and how you dance on the line of it feeling
Yes.
almost too much.
Yeah, and maybe some people would still look at it and say it's too much. I don't know, but
Well,
for the most part,
one question I have about it is, so when you are making Pez Outlaw, I remember his last name is Glew. What's his first name?
Steve.
Steve Glew. So you go to Steve,
Yeah.
who in the movie has kind of a flat delivery,
Yeah.
I would say, and works really well as a comedic character for that reason, because he's in these extreme situations as a kind of very fish out of water,
Right.
flat delivery.
Yeah.
When you go to him and say, hey, Steve, I think you should be the star of these reenactments. Like, how does that conversation
He
go?
was into it. I think there was concern as to whether or not if he could pull it off. So
Yeah.
one of our early shoots where we were doing documentary stuff with him, we did a test. Dyed his beard, tucked it under, didn't cut it, but just like tucked it under, dyed his beard, and just did one simple scene of him. It was a scene where he was walking down a hotel hallway, ends up in a hotel room, opens a giant duffel bag full of Pez. He's got a trench coat on and his hat. We just filmed that scene to see if it would work.
Yeah.
And then we took it back and tried it in the edit and realized it really worked. But like, we didn't know for sure until we did that,
I see.
whether or not he could pull it off.
So it was trial and error at the
yeah.
beginning. And then
Yeah,
once
I
you
think-
figured it out, you were like, okay, this is the direction.
I think we've done stages like that or phases in a lot of our projects where we usually do the documentary stuff first and then we try out some things and see what might work. On one of the AMC episodes was a story of some PTA moms and a little scandal in a school, and we didn't have some of the real people, we didn't have all the elements, and we decided to just kind of interview actors playing the role on
Right.
the backdrop, and that became the main gimmick
Interesting.
for that.
So the
that
actors
episode.
you hired to play the reenactments,
Yes.
you interviewed about their characters?
Correct, and had them read lines and do things, and then that made it into the film. It's stolen from Casting JonBeneT by Kitty Green.
Oh, yes, yes.
We just stole it from her.
Well, what's the line? Good artists make and great artists steal?
Yeah, it was a simple way to solve something. We didn't have necessarily a budget, we didn't have access we needed, so we just got creative. But I think each project kind of, might need something different.
Well, that's what I'm curious about, the budget part. When you are making a doc like Pez Outlaw,
Yeah.
let me just tell you how I assume you do it, and then
Okay.
you correct me.
Okay.
I assume you find Steve Glew, you interview him, the people in his life that help you tell the story.
Yep.
You take that footage, you edit that together into basically like a radio edit of the movie, and then you figure out what scenes you need to reenact, and then you go narratively. You take 5 days or however long,
Yeah.
smash all the reenactments into that 5 days, build sets,
Yeah.
shoot on location if you can shoot one location
Right.
for many. How am I doing? Am I
It's pretty
correct?
close, yeah. Yeah, I think that I think we take it a little farther than a radio edit. I think before we shoot the big reenactments, like we might do a couple tests, and like with the Pez Outlaw, I did a test, 1 or 2 tests that then were able to go into a sizzle that helped us raise money.
Okay.
But then we edit the full film. We have, full, music, and we just start putting in text cards for where the recreations will go.
Okay.
And it's detailed. It's like, insert close up of hand reaching for Pez dispenser,
Oh wow. Okay. So down
so we
to
have
that
it really
level of
planned
like,
out before we go do the final thing, because it's the most expensive part. So we want to.
do you storyboard?
We have before, but not always, because sometimes it might not be as detailed as like close up medium shot. Like, here's the story of what's happening. He reaches for the Pez dispenser, or unzips the bag, and it ends up getting fairly close to what we need so that we can save money and not shoot unnecessary things in the actual.
Right.
I mean, it's very much the same as a scripted process, we're just using our rough cut as the script.
Yeah, it really is. It does feel hybrid in that way where you guys are putting so much time and attention and narrative devices into the reenactments. Do you feel like you're directing a narrative, or is it still a documentary?
It very much feels like that. I've never directed a full feature narrative, but it feels, it's the same kind of crew. It's the same, it's the same process pretty much, other than like, we don't typically do a lot of dialogue.
Right. Do you do the lip flap where you take lines from the
sometimes
the interview and have the actors mouth it?
It's occasionally, the drunk history thing, or saying that.
Yep.
Occasionally, we've done it. I think it can be overdone, but occasionally we'll have one line that really would land with that.
Yeah.
Or cutting between a real interview and then the scripted version finishes the sentence, or vice versa.
Yeah. The thing I was really surprised about with I Got Bombed was that it's really a story about fathers and sons.
Right.
And it's told through such a fantastic, explosive, pun intended, it's sort of a storyline. But the B story and the subtext of it is really about how to treat your family, and how you treat them is how the world sort of treats you. And I was surprised that it had that heavier emotional family layer.
Yeah, it's a very deep family story, a very dark family story.
Very dark, yes.
I think we didn't quite realize how dark when we started. And finding that balance was tricky, right? Because we saw the fun elements of it. Yeah. The heisty elements of a casino in 1980.
Yeah, and you want to use the bomb exploding. I didn't know until it goes off that it was going to go off. Yeah. Which I think is what you were going for. Yeah. But I was really surprised when it did.
Yeah, it's and we heard all these stories and heard about all the fun, but we didn't know about the details of the family story as much until we really got to meet Jim. Yeah. And got in there. One early idea was Jim, the main subject, who is one of the, his father puts this bomb in the casino and he helps him.
The father forces him to help him.
Yeah. Yes. So Jim, early on, we thought, well, maybe Jim could play his father in the reenactments and then explore this relationship, and it could be this therapeutic thing. I think quickly we realized that wasn't like the best version of this film or a good idea.
Yeah, it seems like he's still processing.
Yeah, and it's darker. Also, he wasn't as great of an actor, as charismatic, or what have you. Yeah. But also just not something we felt like we needed to put him through, and we just went with more traditional. Let's cast the actors and go the normal route. We don't need to have people playing themselves and everything. If it works, great. So
that's cool. I like that. That's if it works. Okay, we're coming up to the end here. We usually do 3 lightning round questions at the end. So what was the gateway drug documentary for you that made you want to make documentaries?
The film itself?
Yeah.
There's a number of films that I saw at South by Southwest years ago.
So wait, you just tell me that story about coming to South by Southwest.
I came in the early 2000s before I was making documentaries. I lived in Oklahoma, and I would come down to South by Southwest and just sneak my way into like a press pass for my local press outlet in Oklahoma. Sorry.
No, I love that.
Everyone.
Keith did that too, my co-host, and then Judd Apatow did that.
I would get into everything, go to all the panels, all the from like 8 a.m. Panels and movies all day, parties until 2 or 3 in the morning. Wake up and do it again. 10 days of the 2 weekends, 10 days of South by Southwest. Yeah. And I just started watching movies down here and seeing, like I saw some of Chris Smith's films down here. Of course, like American Movie would be one that I would say is
the gold standard.
Yeah, but he had other films here. I think that Home Movie played here.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
I did see that he made with Sarah Price. Or no, sorry. I'm thinking of the one that she made in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Home Movie was
American Movie, but
she made one after that about her block in Wisconsin. It was like all her neighbors. It was fantastic. But Home Movie was the people who had like extreme homes, basically, right?
And I would come, I saw Brad Beasley's stuff here, like the Okie Noodling stuff, and then even something he did with Sarah I saw here, like
Summer Camp. I edited on Summer Camp. Yeah.
So like things in Austin, and there were some smaller films here, but they were just fun, and I think it showed me the documentaries weren't all educational and that they could be a ton of fun, and that got me into it. So
I love that. Okay.
Very strong Austin, South by Southwest region.
You're the first person to basically say it was a festival and not a film. I like that.
Yeah.
What is the key piece of advice that you would give to somebody who's starting out making documentaries right now?
Learn to edit.
Oh, why?
One, it helps you in your process to be an editor when you're out in the field shooting. I can't imagine like directing documentaries without knowing how to edit.
Okay.
And then two, and maybe more importantly, it's a trade you can get paid a good amount of money for.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna offer you out of the gate like to get paid as a director on documentaries, but people need editors. And I spent most of my early days in LA, editing infomercials, and then eventually I got paid to edit other people's documentaries, and it was the one thing that helped keep me afloat financially, because I couldn't just make money off of my own indie.
Yeah. Okay, let's flip back around.
Okay.
We'll go, and then we'll end at the stretch here. Okay, last question. Besides filmmaking, this is always hard for filmmakers, but what is the thing that you can't stop thinking about that is non-film related?
That's non-film related?
Yes.
Sheesh. That's a tough one. I've been on a bit of a pickleball craze lately.
Yeah, you mentioned you'd played pickleball.
And just there's something really fun about the community aspect of it. You show up at these parks and people like all know each other, and they like just go there and hang out, and you don't have to, like, I've played other organized things.
Yeah.
And you got to kind of coordinate. You got to, even if you want to play tennis, like, okay, what time?
Yeah.
What buddy?
Yeah.
Like, where are we gonna, how, is there gonna be a court available? Pickleball, I can be like, man, it's 10:30. I got, a couple hours to kill here, or it's the middle of the day and I've got a break in work. I could just like go over to the park, which is 5 minutes away, and there's people there to play. I know some of them can play, and then go back to work. Like, and it's good exercise. It's like,
it is good exercise.
I surprisingly, like, I didn't think it was that much exercise, and it actually, you can work up a good sweat, burn some calories.
All right.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a little recently.
It's also a fun word to say too.
Pickleball.
Pickleball.
There's probably something deeper, I should say, like, but
No, I love that.
What do other people say?
You got to get exercise. I mean, people talk about politics or their kids, or
think about my kids a little.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
And they're how old again? They're teenagers, you mentioned?
16, 14.
Oh my goodness. What is it like to have teenage daughters?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is, actually.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet it's some psychological gymnastics.
Yeah, no, they're good kids.
That's awesome. Do they want to be filmmakers?
Not really. No, it's like they get to go to film sets and big sets sometimes, and hang out and do things that I think are amazing, and they're like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
It's boring.
I guess if mom and dad are doing it, they want to do something else.
Yeah,
probably.
they're in the dance.
Yeah.
So,
oh, that's cool. All right. Well, Bryan, this has been great, man. You're on Instagram?
Yes.
Bryan Storkel.
That's it.
And people can look up your films.
They can, yeah. There's some on Netflix, some coming out on Netflix, the Hulk Hogan thing soon.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah.
And then remind everybody the name of your production company again.
It's called Sidestilt.
Sidestilt, yes. And you guys have a website with all your work on that.
Sidestilt.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks for doing this, buddy.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Bye.
Next time on Doc Walks, we're digging into the depths of personal grief, but we're contrasting that against the heights of improv comedy and stand-up with special guest here in Austin for the Moon Tower Comedy Festival, author, stand-up comic, documentarian, Academy Award nominee, Jenna Friedman, here on Doc Walks. Doc Walks is created, produced, and edited by my friend Ben Steinbauer of The Bear.
Hello. And my friend Keith Maitland of Go Valley.
Thanks for tuning in.
Follow us at DocWalksPod on Instagram, X, and YouTube.